Have you ever thought that your innocent glass of milk in the morning could spike your blood sugar higher than a can of soda? Shocking, right? Because the truth is, not all milks are created equal. Some can quietly sabotage your blood sugar control, while others can actually help your body stay stable and strong. Imagine this. One choice at the grocery store could mean the difference between steady energy throughout the day or another exhausting blood sugar roller coaster. But here's the problem. On the shelf, every carton looks the same. White, creamy, healthy looking. Cow's milk, almond milk, soy milk, oat milk, coconut milk, rice milk. They all look harmless when poured into a glass. But inside your body, the difference is night and day. So which one is your ally and which one is your silent enemy? Today, we're going to expose the truth about the most common types of milk for people living with diabetes. And stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which milk doctors recommend as the #1 best choice, and which ones you should think twice about before pouring into your glass. But before we dive in, let's make this a two-way conversation. If you or someone you love is living with diabetes, hit the like button right now so more people can discover this life-changing information. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Because I promise you, what you're about to learn today could completely change how you look at that glass of milk on your breakfast table. Now, let's start with the milk most of us grew up drinking. The one that shaped our childhood breakfasts and still sits in almost every fridge around the world. Cow's milk. Cow's milk. The classic choice that most of us grew up with. Poured over cereal, mixed into coffee, or served in a tall glass with dinner. It's familiar, comforting, and still recommended by the United States Department of Agriculture as part of a balanced diet, even for people living with diabetes. So what does 1 cup, about 240 milliliters, actually give you? Quite a lot. Calcium for strong bones, protein for muscles, vitamin A for vision and immunity, vitamin D for bone and metabolic health, plus B vitamins like riboflavin and B12 for energy and a healthy nervous system. It even provides zinc, essential for wound healing and immune defense. And importantly, plain milk has no added sugar. The only sugar present is natural lactose, unless you choose flavored varieties like chocolate milk. A standard cup contains about 11 grams of carbohydrates. That amount can raise blood sugar. But here's the surprise. The whey protein in milk actually helps your body release insulin more effectively, reducing post-meal spikes. Grass-fed cow's milk even offers extra omega-3 fatty acids, which support heart health and reduce inflammation. Still, not all cow's milk is equal. Whole milk carries more saturated fat, which can increase calorie intake and heart risks. That's why experts, including the American Diabetes Association, recommend fat-free or 1% low-fat milk. You get the nutrition without the extra fat. The takeaway? Cow's milk isn't the enemy. When you choose the low-fat version, it can be a nutrient-dense, diabetes-friendly drink that supports both bone and heart health. But balance matters. Your glass of milk should work with your plate, not against it. And balance is exactly what's missing in the next popular choice. Creamy and trendy, oat milk hides a surprising carb load that can catch people with diabetes off guard. Oat milk has exploded in popularity. Creamy, sweet, and versatile, it feels like the perfect plant-based choice for coffee, smoothies, or cereal, especially for people avoiding dairy, nuts, or soy. A standard cup, about 240 milliliters, of fortified oat milk includes calcium, vitamin D, vitamin A, and riboflavin. It provides around 2 grams of fiber, more than cow's milk, and the texture steams well for lattes, which is why it seems like a winning swap. Here's the catch. Carbohydrates. During processing, the starches in oats are broken down into smaller sugars. Even when the label says unsweetened, many brands still deliver nearly twice the carbohydrates of cow's milk per 240 milliliters. A cup of oat milk can influence your blood sugar almost like a slice of bread. For people with type 2 diabetes, who work hard to avoid sharp post-meal spikes, this hidden sugar load can be a setback. Does that make oat milk off-limits? Not necessarily. If you love the taste, treat it as a sometimes food. Choose unsweetened varieties, measure portions, and pair them with meals that are low in carbohydrates but rich in protein and healthy fats. Oat milk in coffee alongside eggs or Greek yogurt creates a different glucose curve than oat milk poured over sweet cereal or granola. You can also dilute it in recipes or split the difference by using half oat milk and half water to reduce the total carbohydrate impact. So while oat milk looks wholesome, its processing means the carbs act fast. For daily blood sugar management, it is not the best default. Treat it as an occasional comfort rather than a staple, and reach more often for options with fewer carbohydrates. Which option fits that description best? A plant-based milk that tastes light, blends into everything, and contains only 1 to 2 grams of carbohydrates per cup. Almond milk, up next. We will compare smarter choices in the very next section together too. After hearing the warnings about oat milk, you might be asking, what's the alternative that won't secretly overload you with hidden sugars? That's where almond milk comes in. Light, refreshing, with a subtle nutty flavor, almond milk has become one of the world's most popular dairy alternatives. For people living with diabetes, it often feels like a relief compared to heavier, carb-rich options. Here's why. A standard cup, about 240 milliliters, of unsweetened almond milk usually contains only 1 to 2 grams of carbohydrates. Compare that to 11 grams in cow's milk, or nearly twice that in oat milk, and the difference is striking. With so few carbs, almond milk barely nudges blood sugar, making it one of the most diabetes-friendly milks available. The benefits don't stop there. Almond milk is naturally low in calories, cholesterol-free, and contains no saturated fat. Since people with diabetes already face higher risks of heart disease, choosing a heart-friendly milk matters. Almonds themselves are rich in vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that supports skin, eye, and immune health. Many store-bought versions are also fortified with calcium, vitamin A, and vitamin D, ensuring you don't miss the nutrients commonly found in cow's milk. Still, almond milk is not perfect. The main drawback is protein. 1 cup typically has just 1 gram, compared to 7 or 8 grams in cow's milk or soy milk. Protein is essential for slowing digestion, balancing blood sugar, and keeping you satisfied. That means if you choose almond milk, you'll want to make sure the rest of your meal provides lean protein, healthy fats, and fiber. So, should almond milk be your everyday go-to? For many people with diabetes, the answer is yes, especially if it's the unsweetened and fortified kind. It's low-carb, heart-friendly, and easy to enjoy daily. But what if you want the best of both worlds? A milk that's plant-based, heart-healthy, and packed with enough protein to keep you full longer. That's where soy milk comes in, and it might just be the closest plant-based match to cow's milk. If almond milk is loved for its low carbohydrates, soy milk earns attention for its balance. In fact, nutritionists often call it the plant-based milk that comes closest to cow's milk in overall nutrition. And for people with diabetes, that balance can be a real advantage. 1 cup, about 240 milliliters, of unsweetened soy milk delivers roughly 7 to 8 grams of protein, nearly the same as cow's milk. That's far more than almond or coconut milk, and this protein slows down the absorption of carbohydrates. As a result, blood sugar rises more gradually instead of spiking, helping people with diabetes stay steady after meals. The benefits don't stop at blood sugar. Research suggests soy milk can lower LDL, the bad cholesterol, while supporting HDL, the good one. It's also linked to lower blood pressure and even a smaller waistline. Important factors since heart health and weight management go hand in hand with diabetes control. Texture and taste make soy milk even easier to adopt. It's creamy, smooth, and closer to dairy than most other plant-based options. Whether you pour it over cereal, mix it into coffee, or use it in baking, Soy milk blends seamlessly into everyday routines. The main caution? Sweetened versions. Many store brands add sugar to improve flavor, which can undo its benefits in a single serving. That's why it's essential to choose unsweetened soy milk if you want the blood sugar support. So, is soy milk perfect? Not quite, but it comes very close. It provides protein for stability, nutrients for heart health, and a familiar taste that makes the swap from cow's milk easy. For many people with diabetes, it's one of the smartest everyday choices. But not every milk shares these strengths. The next option looks gentle and mild, yet its natural starch quickly turns into sugar and can send blood glucose soaring. Let's take a closer look at rice milk. Rice milk. At first glance, it seems like the gentlest, most harmless option on the shelf. Made from rice and water, it feels light, easy to digest, and safe for people with allergies to nuts, soy, or dairy. For many, its mild sweetness makes it a comforting addition to cereal, smoothies, or even coffee. But here's the catch. When it comes to managing diabetes, rice milk is one of the trickiest choices. Why? Because beneath that mild flavor lies a surprisingly high load of carbohydrates. A single cup, about 240 milliliters, of rice milk contains nearly double the carbs of cow's milk. And since rice is naturally high in starch, those starches are broken down into simple sugars during processing. That means rice milk can cause blood sugar to rise very quickly, often as fast as eating a serving of white rice itself. And unlike soy milk or cow's milk, rice milk has almost no protein and very little healthy fat. Without those nutrients to slow down digestion, the sugars in rice milk enter your bloodstream almost immediately. The result? Sharp spikes, followed by the inevitable crash that leaves you tired, hungry, and craving more. For people with diabetes, that roller coaster is exactly what you want to avoid. The problem gets even worse when you consider that many commercial rice milk brands add extra sugar to improve flavor. What starts as a seemingly natural plant-based drink can turn into something closer to a sweet dessert. Of course, rice milk does have a role for those with multiple food allergies. It's vegan, lactose-free, and free from soy or nuts. And like other plant milks, it's often fortified with calcium and vitamin D to support bone health. But for most people with diabetes, the downsides outweigh the benefits. Rice milk is simply not designed to keep blood sugar stable. So while it might feel gentle and light, the reality is that rice milk creates more problems than solutions if blood sugar control is your priority. And that brings us to another alternative that seems exotic, flavorful, and surprisingly diabetes-friendly, at least at first glance. Let's talk about coconut milk. Coconut milk beverage, the kind you find in cartons in the refrigerated aisle, is not the same as the thick, canned coconut milk used for cooking. This lighter version is often diluted with water and designed to be enjoyed just like regular milk. With its tropical flavor and naturally smooth texture, it feels exotic and refreshing, a sweet little escape from ordinary choices. And here's some good news for people with diabetes. Unsweetened coconut milk is extremely low in carbohydrates. A standard cup, about 240 milliliters, may contain just 1 to 2 grams of carbs. That means it won't cause the sudden spike in blood sugar that rice milk or even oat milk can trigger. For older adults carefully counting every gram of carbohydrate, this can bring real peace of mind. But low carbs don't tell the whole story. Coconut milk is also very low in protein. Without protein to slow digestion or help you feel satisfied, it doesn't provide much balance on its own. If you pour it over cereal or drink it alongside bread, you're still mostly consuming carbohydrates without the buffer that protein normally provides. There's another detail to consider: fat. Coconut milk contains a higher proportion of saturated fat compared to other plant-based milks. While some studies suggest not all saturated fats are harmful, it's still wise to be cautious if you're managing both diabetes and heart health. So where does that leave coconut milk? Think of it as a useful option in specific situations rather than a daily staple. It works well in small amounts for flavor, in coffee or in smoothies, where you're adding extra protein from yogurt or protein powder. But relying on it as your main milk source may leave important nutritional gaps. Still, variety matters, and coconut milk can absolutely be part of a balanced, diabetes-friendly lifestyle if you use it wisely. And now that we've uncovered the truth behind cow's milk, oat milk, almond, soy, rice, and coconut, the question remains: which milk truly stands out as the best choice for people with diabetes? Let's bring it all together. At the end of the day, the best milk for diabetes isn't about trends, it's about balance. Cow's milk, especially low-fat or skim, delivers protein, calcium, and key vitamins without added sugar. Almond milk stands out for being ultra-low in carbs and gentle on the heart. Soy milk offers the closest balance to dairy, with protein that helps steady blood sugar and protect long-term health. Meanwhile, oat milk, though popular, hides more carbs than many realize. Rice milk, despite its mild taste, can trigger sharp spikes. And coconut milk, while very low in carbs, lacks protein and adds more saturated fat than most people need. So the smart move is simple. Choose unsweetened almond, soy, or low-fat cow's milk most often. Now it's your turn. Comment which milk is in your fridge today. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch the next video on the best breakfasts for lowering blood sugar naturally.